about my personal growth. I chose APU because, first of all, it is a Christian university and I knew that I would get a good quality education there. I was so excited to learn about the digital master's program because I love technology. So ever since I was 4, I've been on the computer playing games, writing Microsoft Word documents, and creating PowerPoints for my parents. I also enjoy the program because I've been learning about podcasts, making movies, making websites, and all other kinds of technological tools that I will be able to use in my classroom. Already, I've created a classroom website, made podcasts for my students, and I've even taught one of my tutoring students how to create a web quest. For one of my classes, I had to create a web quest, and for this web quest, I wanted students to listen to the recording of Sergei Prokofiev's Peter and the Wolf. For this recording, I didn't want my students to listen to the entire 30-minute version, so I created my own. I used the program Audacity to splice in certain parts from Prokofiev's composition, and I added my own commentary as well as my own version of the story. I was unable to upload this to my web quest, so I decided to make it into a video. I videotaped the recording and put a picture of Peter and the Wolf in the background. I then proceeded to try and upload this to my web quest, but that didn't work either. In order for the students to access the video, I had to put it up on YouTube, and then I created a website for students to access the YouTube video. I then embedded a link to that website into the web quest. So, I have clearly learned a lot from this program. Altogether, I have thoroughly enjoyed being a part of the Digital Masters program. There is so much stuff that I have learned that is applicable to my classroom, and I cannot wait to use it in my own class. Good morning, class. My name is Miss James. I'm going to be your substitute today. So, I need to take roll. Ashley Coleman. Yeah, whatever. Christopher Chung.
He's not here.
Okay, I don't need your attitude, sir. Is he here or not?
Not here.
Okay, you could have just said that. Michelle Bonha. Mitchell Bonha.
It's Bonja and Michelle.
Okay, Now, as you could tell from that video, that substitute really wasn't nice. What's more, she didn't care to figure out the students' names. And, as you can see, the students didn't really like her, didn't respect her, and didn't really follow what she was saying. For my action research, I figured out different ways that I could remember students' names. Here are some of the devices that I have created to remember students' names. First, we have mnemonic devices. There is one student who I remember, her name was Natalie, because she had an awesome necklace. And so whenever I saw her, I saw the necklace and I thought, oh, her name is Natalie. And she was very pleased to be remembered by me. Next, we have a story. Sometimes I do this just in my head, where I will think of some kind of story or some way to remember someone's name. For example, one of my students, Andrew, had a really great smile. So I kept thinking in my head, Andrew has a great smile. Andrew has a very nice smile. And I just kept repeating that over and over in my head, and finally I was able to remember, oh, that's Andrew, because he has a great smile. Next, relate to someone you know. I have a very good friend named David, and so whenever I meet someone named David, I always remember, oh, I can remember him because that's the name of my best friend. Finally, learning students' names one at a time. Once you have 30 or 40 students in the class, it's difficult to remember everyone's names. Finally, the most easy way to remember someone's names, have them repeat it over and over. If a student repeats their names 3 or 4 times for me, I can usually remember their name. So, anytime that a student raises their hand, or anytime that a student needs to do something or comes up to you, have them remind you of their name, and you will be able to remember. With this, you can see the difference in how they behave, how they treat you, and how they respect you.
Nippon e yokoso. Welcome to Japan. Today I will be discussing my unit on Japanese history for 7th grade. I will be incorporating technology, English, and history standards into my unit. Please join me as we journey through Japan's culture, social customs, the influence of the samurai, literature, and its history. For the history standards, students will be learning about different structures of medieval Japan, the lord-vassal system, literature, art and drama, and the military society. For the language arts standards, students will be responding to Japanese literature and developing their writing. For technology standards, students will use a variety of technology, including researching the internet, listening to recordings, blogging, Microsoft Word, Excel, Audacity, and video recording. The objective of this unit is to teach students about the importance of the warrior code, the golden age of Japan, and its military society.
Students will listen to a brief lecture where I will give them a description and a definition of shogun, daimyo, and samurai, as well as the warrior code. Then I will give them all a list of educational websites where they can find more information that will help them with their projects.
Each student will choose 2 of the following activities to complete in order to show their understanding of the roles of shogun, daimyo, and samurai, as well as the warrior code. One of the projects that students can choose from is for interpersonal and linguistic learning. Students can blog from the point of view of a samurai, a shogun, and a daimyo. The blogs will include at least 3 activities of each person that they would do on a normal day, and they will also explain the interaction of that person with the others. Students will be required to comment on 2 other students' blogs. For musical, rhythmic, and linguistic learners, students can listen to the rap from hip-hop history of the world and create their own version of the rap. The rap must have 3 accurate descriptions of shogun, daimyo, and samurai. This will be recorded on the program Audacity and shown to the class. For bodily kinesthetic and linguistic learners, students can create a skit showing a typical day including the shogun, daimyo, and samurai, what their daily activities would consist of, and how they would interact. The skit will include 3 separate interactions. This will be video recorded and shown to the class. For interpersonal and naturalist learners, students will create a survival guide for shogun, daimyo, and samurai. The guide will include what these men will need on a daily basis, including tools, weapons, and food. This will be in the form of a pamphlet for each person. Students will also create a samurai pack that includes items a samurai would carry. These could either be the actual items or pictures. For logical and mathematical learners, students will create an expense sheet for each of the samurai, daimyo, and shogun. They will research what each person would need and figure out the cost of each. This will include 3 food items, 3 weapons, and 3 additional expenses. They will calculate how much it would cost for each man to live. Through my teaching experiences, I have learned the importance of getting to know your students. This gives you an insight into their interests, abilities, and home lives. It also allows you to determine their multiple intelligence and how to teach them in the best way possible. I have enjoyed learning about and seeing the application of Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences.
I hope this video has inspired you to look into multiple intelligences and see how many different ways you can use technology in your classroom. These are only tools that will help improve your teaching and your students' experience in the classroom. So I hope that